This GeographyBurst video focuses on map skills. You should use pages 327 to 330 of the textbook to support this video. We will be looking at three topics: the use of scale bars, 4- and 6-figure grid references, and contours on a map. Firstly, scale. Ordnance Survey maps, or OS maps, as they are often referred to as, are drawn to scale. This means that they accurately represent the real world. In order to represent the real world, the scale has been reduced so that it may actually fit onto a sheet of paper. Scale is normally shown on a map in one of two ways. The first is by using a ratio. The most common ratio used by Ordnance Survey maps is 1 to 25,000. Using this scale means that 1 unit on the map is equal to 25,000 units on the ground in real life. The other method of showing scale is by use of a linear scale, a straight line with distances alongside it. This allows the reader to make measurements of straight line distances on the map. For example, with the scale bar that measured 1 centimetre for a kilometre, the map user would know that 1 centimetre measured across the map would be 1 kilometre in the real world. 5 centimetres would be 5 kilometres, and so on and so forth. Secondly, grid references. A grid of squares is overlaid onto an OS map. Along the bottom and the side of the map, there are a series of numbers. A grid reference is a method to show the location of a particular point on a map. There are two types of grid references using OS maps: 4-figure grid references and 6-figure grid references. 4-figure grid references point the map user in the direction of a square on the grid. They are given by using the numbers that run along the bottom and side of the map. Firstly, the numbers along the bottom, called eastings, and secondly, the numbers along the side, called northings. A 4-figure grid reference will point out the bottom left corner of the square that it is referencing. So, for example, the square in bold on our diagram would have a 4-figure grid reference of 3414, as the bottom left corner of that square is referenced along the bottom in its eastings as 34, and secondly, with its northings to the side as 14. Make sure that when you give your first two numbers, you give the easting, followed by the two numbers giving the northing. Think of the phrase, along the corridor and up the stairs, to help you remember. 6-figure grid references point the map user in the direction of a specific point on a map, so are more precise than 4-figure grid references. Giving a 6-figure grid reference has the same initial steps as a 4-figure grid reference. The extra two numbers come from splitting the square into tenths. The third number in a 6-figure grid reference comes from the distance across the bottom of the square the point is. The 6th number comes from the distance up the side of the square the point is. So, for example, the triangle would have a 6-figure grid reference of 348142, as it is in the square 3414, but is 8 tenths across that square and 2 tenths up that square. And thirdly, contours. As maps are two-dimensional, showing height can be difficult. Contour lines are a way to do this. They connect places of equal height by the brown-orange lines that appear on an OS map, and they usually go up in regular intervals of 10 meters on a 1 to 50,000 map, or 5 meters on a 1 to 25,000 scale map. When contour lines are close together, it indicates steep land, as the land is gaining height rapidly. If they are spread far apart, it indicates that the gradient of the land is flatter and it is not gaining height very rapidly. Geography. Know your world.